you move on from that role of, being the everyday, frontline leader in the store to being the coach who motivates and puts people in position. But the coach still has to learn. The coach still has to be, I'm a big fan of, I grew up Chicago Bulls, Lakers, my walls, Kobe, MJ. So Phil Jackson, the Zen master, spent a lot of time learning to lead, learning to be that leader. So, take advantage of that time away from the shop. What's going on, Pizza Fam? Look, I appreciate each one of you for listening to this show, listening to this episode. Before we get back to it, I wanted to tell you about my favorite product right now, Todd's Curry Sauce. I met these guys at the Florida Restaurant Show, Pizza Tomorrow Summit, and I'm telling you, ever since I tried that sauce, I have been putting it on everything in the shop. Chicken wings, pizza, you've seen the pizzas, chicken sandwich, salad dressing, like we've been putting Todd's Curry Sauce on everything, and I'm here to give you a special deal, special offer. Go to their website, toddscurrysauce.com, use code Pizza King, and get 10% off your next order. I promise you, you only need to try it one time. It's going to be the best curry sauce you ever tasted in your life. You're going to start putting it on all kinds of stuff in your shop, even at home. I got a bottle in the pantry here at the house. I got a bottle at the shop. Elliot, Todd, I need another bottle because I'm putting it everywhere. I'm putting it on everything. So go check it out. Use code Pizza King and get 10% off your next order. Peace. Let's get back to it. What's going on, Pizza Fan? Welcome back to the Pizza King podcast, Podcastathon 2025. Today is day 4, October 4th, 2025. We are still celebrating National Pizza Month. We're coming on every single day. We're dropping, some jewels, some pizza content. We got guest interviews scheduled. We got some new folks coming up, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I got a fun one scheduled with my brothers coming up real soon. So just stay tuned, and it's gonna be a fun month celebrating pizza. Today I want to talk about staying in the game, staying sharp, and at the level that made you great, staying at the level of consistency that made you who you are and what you are today. Now, I know we talk a lot about how do we peel back from operations? How do we, replace ourselves? How do we hire somebody that can take our job? How do we train up the next person to replace us in an effort for us to go do, the next thing and continue to grow the business and work on the business? That's always our main focus. But yesterday, my son and I, actually all three of the boys, we did a little bit of pizza making here at the house on Friday. We always make pizzas on Friday. And my son Dallas is like, Daddy, why do we keep doing so much pizza stuff when you sold the shop and you don't own West Shore anymore, you don't work there anymore? Why do we still continue to do pizza so much when you're not a pizza man anymore? And I'm like, dude, well, we got to stay sharp. We got to stay in the game. And it made me think about my workout in the morning yesterday, where I got on and did like a 20-minute ride on the Peloton bike. Like the old saying goes, it's just like riding a bike. Like that's the saying for things that just come to you naturally, or it just sticks with you forever. Just like riding a bike. I got this. Just like riding a bike. As I was on that bike, I was like, damn, I forgot how to ride a bike. This bike hurts. This bike is painful. This workout is not what I remember. It was hard. I hadn't rode a bike in like a year, and I got on and it was a rough workout. So, thinking about my pizza making skills and, staying close to the game and staying in tune, I don't want to spend so much time away and then think, hey, it's just like riding a bike and I'm going to be able to just jump back in and, buy another shop and, just get right back into the game and stay and not lose anything over that time. I don't think that's possible. I think the only way to do that is to stay sharp and stay working on my skills and to stay in tune with the community, because things change so much and change so fast. I don't want to look up and, 2 years have passed and I haven't touched any dough, or I hadn't built any new relationships in the business. I hadn't helped any shops do something. Like that's how I stay sharp and how I stay on top of the game, is by learning and creating and doing and working with other folks. So he's like, why do you do that? I'm like, I gotta stay close to the game. I gotta stay sharp. I gotta stay me. even without having that part of my identity, that being the shop, I still got to stay me. So, that was just a good conversation that we had yesterday. We also tried out some flatbread pizzas. Actually bought a couple of flatbread crusts from Aldi. They were fantastic. So now that's this week's mission as we do Pizza Friday next week. We got to make our own flatbread and do something that like what we bought from them, because they were delicious and the boys just killed them. It was like a little appetizer before we had pizza, and the boys just killed them. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Overall, I think the overall point of it all is that mastery never ends. Mastery is a continual process. It's a never ending process. And if you're truly seeking mastery, then it's never enough. And I think I'm at that point. And no, I don't call myself a master at all. I'm actually learning more about pizza now than I ever have. And nothing against my experience and what I've done. I just did it one way for 20 something years. And now I'm learning that there are other ways of doing things, whether they be better, worse, or indifferent. Doesn't matter. It's just about learning other techniques, other ways, whether they be old techniques or new techniques. Just learning new things when it comes to pizza making, when it comes to team building, when it comes to leadership. Mastery never ends, and it actually gives you an advantage when you get put on, when you level yourself up, or you level your shop up to a place where you have been replaced, and you have now the freedom and the time to do the things that you had always planned to do, right? I can spend more time outside the shop. I can spend more time with the family. I can do all those things. You actually have more time to work on yourself too, and to work on your skills. And it's honestly the same philosophies that got you to that point, because there's no way that you got to the point where you have a strong team that can handle your business without a heavy emphasis on personal and professional development. So that has to continue once you're out of your old position and into your new position, whatever that may be. You still got to continue to develop, and you still got to continue to level up your game, because you might find something that is the difference maker in your shop. You may find that technique or that recipe or that process that simplifies everything for you guys, or that changes your food costs, completely, or changes your labor structure and your model. I remember when I learned the 6-day schedule that felt like a 5-day schedule from my buddy Sean Chambers. And basically it was a GM schedule, but GMs were really getting to the point where they were burning out like crazy. They were really starting to burn out, and we needed a lot of them to work the 6-day schedule, but it was putting a strain on the team. So I learned, and I don't know where he learned it, where he came up with it, but he taught me how to schedule them 6 days, but make it feel like 5, like make it feel like they had 2 days off. So you would give them two opens. You basically give them 2 opens, 2 closes, and 2 mids, but their day off would be their day off would be bookended by an open shift. So you do an open, you get out of there, 4 or 5 o'clock, you're off for the rest of the day. Then your day off, and then the day back, which would be the day after your day off, your day back would be a close. So you come in later. So you get off early, you take the day off, and then you come in late, and it feels like you had 2 full days off, even though you didn't. We know it's still just one day off, and depending on how you work that time, it can still be pretty hectic. But at least it was a way to just get the maximum amount of time for them to rest and recover and take care of the things that they needed to do. That was clutch. That was like super clutch for us back then. So shout out to Sean Chambers, because it was way easier to propose a 6-day schedule that still gave you what felt like 2 days off than to tell somebody, hey, we need you. All I can give you off is Monday, and I need you here every other hour of the week. And it's not a fun conversation to have. So yeah, I mean, and just learning that was a game changer, because at that point, maybe it meant that one of the above store leaders would have had to go back into the store, or would have had to go cover a shift or do something like that. So, we learned something, we implemented, and it changed the game from us. And look, every coach should still train. That's the other thing. Like you move on from that role of, being the everyday, frontline leader in the store, to being the coach who motivates and puts people in position. But the coach still has to learn. The coach still has to be, I'm a big fan of, I grew up Chicago Bulls, Lakers, my walls, Kobe, MJ. So Phil Jackson, the Zen master. spent a lot of time learning to lead, learning to be that leader. So, take advantage of that time away from the shop. Some other ways, well, I don't know if there's any other ways that I like to learn. I watch a lot of pizza makers. I love watching a lot of YouTube videos. I love to read. I listen to a lot of audiobooks and podcasts. But the best way for me to learn is to get hands on. Like I put it out there. Hey, I need some help with a recipe for flatbread. And while it may seem easy to some folks, a lot of folks text me too, like, here, just use this recipe. That's great. I want to know, I need to get in there, do it, make it so that I can learn how to make the adjustments. That was one of the biggest things in pizza for me, was how we adjusted to whatever conditions we were building pizzas in. If it was cold outside, we, make the water a little bit warmer. If it was super hot outside, a little ice in that batch, or we sit it out a little long. Like you just always constantly made adjustments. And I know that following a recipe from the internet is gonna lead me to a point where I have to make adjustments. So that's why I kind of threw it out there to get some feedback from the community. As far as what I would suggest for anyone that's getting to that point and you wanna stay in the game and you want to stay sharp, hey, set aside a few minutes, do some homework, go out. And another thing, go out to the events. I learned a ton just going. Well, we went to Pizza Power Forum and we go to Pizza Expo, and we're going to be in Columbus at Pizza Expo. We're going to be at Pizza Tomorrow Summit. Go to the education sessions, because people are really teaching real things there. Like, those workshops are made for learning. I saw Mike Bausch in Vegas. His session was fantastic. It was fantastic. Learned a ton about marketing and about, limited time offerings, limited time offers, things like that at Pizza Power Forum. So I'm excited about getting to those events, because that becomes a great opportunity to learn something new. What events are you guys going to this year? Are anybody coming out to anything? Love to connect, love to meet up if that opportunity presents itself, especially here in Florida. Please link up with me when you get here to Florida for Pizza Tomorrow Summit and Florida Restaurant Show. You're confirmed to speak. My session will be on November 11th at 2 p.m. at booth 1173. Come and see me. That's going to be a good time. I love to connect with any of the listeners out there. Take some pictures. Really just share some of our experiences. You guys have been rocking with me. Look, this is another day of Podcast-a-thon. Thank you so much for joining me. Come back and see us tomorrow. As always, we're doing a live workshop every Tuesday. Love to have you join on that. We got guests coming up next week. We should have two episodes with guests, plus our main show and takeout tips on Friday. Go check out that last episode with Alir. So much game he dropped there. So much game. And, really appreciate him for coming by. So until next time, until tomorrow, I'm your boy, Pizza King, Tyrell Reed. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.